scaling healthcare delivery beyond our physical worldly constraints. With Dion Croom, Ovii Technologies PLC.
Hello everyone, my name is Dion Croom and I am CEO of Ovii Technologies, online virtual immersive innovations. When you look in this space talking about scaling healthcare, sometimes people miss the whole purpose of technology, access to the user. The user has to interface with these technologies, especially when you're looking at healthcare. So when you're looking at healthcare, you got to look at the technologies. Everyone's talking about metaverse, Web 3.0. How does that apply in reference to scaling healthcare? So I put up these slides on different things I've been talking about. So first off, we have to define what is the metaverse. Because I ask people that question when they talk about metaverse. What is the metaverse? Well, it's different things to different people. But in the reality, what is it to the user who will be using the technology? That's what we have to look at training and integrating people into it. So metaverse is many things: persistent, reactive, interoperable, creative, user-defined, decentralized, everyday, limitless. I can go on and on. But how does the end user understand this? That's the important piece. So when you look at what the interest in metaverse, why am I talking about metaverse in relationship to healthcare? I'll come to that. The number of searches for the word increased more than tenfold. Everyone's talking metaverse. So when you look at the metaverse, again, keeping healthcare, habits evolve. We're outgrowing the bounds of the internet. With what's happened with COVID, more and more people stuck at home. Look at what the conditions that have happened. People are not used to being locked at home. So therefore, mental health is a pandemic, as we know today. But how are people relating to the metaverse? Those are the important questions. As more people spend time online, digital third spaces. What is third space? When identifying, so I'm gonna move on. So when you think of meta spaces, meta lives, meta business, meta societies, think of healthcare. How does it apply to the things that matter to every single person in this room? Their health. So now when you take that technology, you move on. Consumer engagement has become a strategic component. They see it on TV. All of their relationships to how is this technology, blockchain. Like I said, to people on the street, what is that? It's our job to educate them. That's where the money is, connecting technology to the user. So what about use cases? This technology is nothing if we don't link it to the use case. So there are whole communities out there that don't have access to health. There are countries out there where people don't have access to health. We started this blockchain revolution talking about how we're going to reach the unbanked, all of these things. Remember those days? Well, how have we moved on to make it reach those users? Now we're looking at mental health. How do we scale support where now we're dealing with a global pandemic? People's mental health due to COVID-19, due to lockdown. So if you are going to look at revolutionizing healthcare, you got to look at first the architecture of that. You've got medical insurance, medical disability practitioners, hospital groups, these are all the people in that chain that you have to connect your technology to. So when you now talk about patient-centric, that's really important. Digital sovereignty, raising agency. That is important. It has to be patient-centric. Your technology must be impactful and it must raise agency. If you're not doing that, it's a short-lived life cycle of your technology. So you look at all of these pathologies. So what are the core design principles? What did I put on the slide first? Patient, putting the patient first. Now we're talking about metaverse, a full 3D immersive space. Imagine virtual hospitals where people can literally, as avatars, interact in an immersive space, connected with the different technologies like the one that was at the beginning, I think just 2 before me. Secure browsing, this is the security. These are the user experience, the user journey. It must be smooth. Interacting with your technology, it must be a smooth transition for them. Keep it simple, stupid. I'm sure you heard of the KISS principle. Blockchain enabled, obviously guaranteeing ownership. That is important. Digital sovereignty. We all use these terminologies, but what does it mean when you look at on the ground? Owner of their data. And we have many models where people are talking about being able to monetize data. That's a big thing. How do you do it? So, moving on again, verifiable digital digital identification, avatar. If we're looking at metaverse, one of the key questions in the metaverse, how do you know who you are sitting across in the metaverse? Those are critical things. Security, GDPR, all of these things would have to be addressed, and I can go on and on talking about the things that will be necessary for then scaling technology into healthcare. For instance, immutable on-chain prescriptions, smart device integrations, all of these things, crypto-ready includes digital wallets. The healthcare industry can absorb all of this technology. They can use that technology. I was in Nigeria, in Lagos, early December. When you turn around and look at 25 million potential users just in that one use case, and they all need access to healthcare. So even in some of these technologies, you reach into communities like that and you make a difference. Even if you're only making 20 cents a month per user, you're doing tremendous turnover in revenue. So there is a reason for looking at scaling our technologies into that space. Going back to the conclusion of this, when asked how tech will improve life in the next 5 years, consumers led with pragmatic needs, including what? Communication and information. The problem here is we're not giving them access to the information. We're telling them how great our tech is, but how about educating them in the functional use as it relates to them individually? That's important. And if you're not doing that, you're fooling yourself. Closely follow values connecting to equality, social responsibility, sustainability, inclusivity, and internationality. We have a responsibility in tech. We can't ignore it. You ignore it at your own peril, because we're talking about millions and millions of users, and you're talking about millions and millions of lives. Again, closing, things to remember. More and more people are spending more time online, giving rise to a new ecosystem of virtual living. Remember I said about meta society, meta space? These are important things that we would need to consider in interacting our technology into the physical world, and then taking that physical need and put it inside of Web 3, Web 4.0, or Web whatever we're going to call it in the next interaction. So do you want to contribute to the functional and technical creation of metaverse? I'm sure that's why we all here in some degree or the other. Or do you want to focus on how you and your consumers exist within it? It's about making them actors in their own story. That's the important part of what our technology is. Remember, the metaverse will not be owned or regulated by any one brand or any one company. As the metaverse develops, partnerships between companies, brands will not only be essential, and I'm reading it for emphasis, but the quickest point of entry directly into the marketplace. So I just wanted to highlight the several points in this. Again, I'm looking at it from a higher level, from a top tech, but we can't forget the users. We can't forget the people who use this technology. I must keep emphasis. I've traveled around the world and I've talked to many people, because in reference to our company, we literally built a virtual island for the treatment of mental health and addiction using metaverse technology. So I know the input that have coming back from the different medical, what do you call them? My brain just went dead. It's ministers of health in various other countries, and this is something that they are crying out for. But not only that, they're crying out, teach them how to use it. I'm going to close on this point. James Brown had a song back in the day, said, I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door. I get it myself. That's the important part. Let's help them understand our technology so that they can use it for the betterment of their lives. Thank you.